So I was in two minds of whether or not to buy this, but I'm so pleased that I did. Just look at the level of variegation on those leaves. Look at the size of this box. This is full of plants, or at least it feels that way. It's surprisingly heavy, so I'm going to try and make this brief. This is another mystery plant rescue box, as well as a couple of plants that I managed to find at bargain prices. So there are some plants in here that I'm really not sure what to expect, so it's going to be a total surprise. So I'm excited to open it up and see what's inside and show you what I've got. So it looks like the two plants I was expecting are in this one, and the mystery plants are in this one. And just looking inside, it looks like there's 4 plants in total. So let's open this up. So I'll start with the mystery plants. There are 4 in total. This is one of them. They are mostly quite specific or unusual varieties. I've made notes of them on the desk in front of me so I can try and get the names right. I'm sure I'll probably make mistakes pronouncing them. And there's one that I need your help with as well. There is a type of Amydrium that I'll get to later that I can't quite work out the handwriting, nor can I find it online. So if you are aware of what that is when we get to that, then please do share it in the comments below. So starting with this one, this is the Epipremnum pinnatum variegata. This is actually one that I went to the site that I was after, but they were out of stock of them at full price. Now, unbeknownst to them, they've included it as a rescue plant in the box, so I'm really pleased that they have, as I haven't missed out on the plant that I thought I'd missed out on. And this is usually valued at £10.99 to £30 for a larger size plant, so this is obviously a very small plant. It's got lovely long green leaves with that nice white cream variegation on it. So the next one is quite a bit bigger. This is a Monstera Adansonii Laniata Spanish clone. I'm not sure what that means in terms of the specific variety. The leaves look quite similar to the Adansonii, just smaller and slightly narrower in form, if you can see those on the camera a bit more clearly. This has got a really good long vine on it, lots of leaves and aerial roots, and it's also got a really good root system, so I'm going to need to pot that up soon. This is usually £20 to £30 for a small 3-leaf cutting. As you can see here, this one's got 7 leaves with a new one on the way, so this is actually bigger than the plants they normally sell at full price, so that's fantastic to be included in the mystery plant rescue box. I will, as I said, pot that up and hopefully keep it growing and see how big it gets, and see how big these leaves get as well, because I'm not sure if they're meant to stay in a smaller form. I'll have to do some research and find out more about the Laniata variety. So this next one is also a very specific variety. This is a Monstera aureopinata velvet form, and I've managed to decipher it between this and the Amydrium based on the texture of the leaves. So this does have a slight velvety texture to them and lovely green leaves, very healthy plant. So this has 3 leaves and a good roots in the pot too. This is usually £45 to £75 online for a 2-leaf plant. So while this is very small, this has got, on the face of it, more leaves than the usual ones they sell. So again, I find it a little bit unusual that they're in these rescue boxes, but I'm not complaining because it maybe means that we're getting more valuable plants for the price of the box that I've paid, which I'll cover off at the end just to show you how good value these boxes are. So I've still got the 2 plants that I was expecting to show you, and this is the last of the mystery box. This is the Amydrium that I was talking about that I need your help with. The variety this is listed as an Amydrium medium and then something beginning with a G. However, when I was googling it and trying to find out what it was, the only 2 that I could find that were mediums were green or silver. So if you look at the leaves, it is a very small plant. There are 3 leaves on there. They're green and they do have a slightly silvery sheen to them if the camera is picking that up. However, the word that is next to it definitely doesn't say green. It looks more like it says something like glaucus or glaucus, glorious, something beginning with G along that sort of length of word. So if you're aware of another type of Amydrium medium that begins with a G, then please do comment below and let me know what this could be. So this one looks like it's got reasonable roots in the pot, as I said, but it is a very small plant and it does need a bit of extra TLC, so I'll again pop this up and look after it, and hopefully this will grow bigger, and once the leaves develop more it might be clearer on what type this is. But as I said, if you know what it is, then please do share it in the comments below. These I couldn't find a price for either, as I don't know what these are usually sold at. The green and silver ones are usually 15 to 25, so if I go off that, maybe about £15, because this is a very small plant. But like I said, I couldn't find the exact variety, so I didn't have an exact price for this one. So now for the two plants that I was expecting that I managed to find for really great prices. The first one is this Monstera Siltepecana. This one, if you haven't seen it before, I'll just bring it closer to the camera, has lovely dark green leaves, almost like an arrow shape, a long arrow shape with silvery patches in the middle. It's got lots of long vines that are continuing to grow with new leaves on the way. It almost looks like there's 4 plants in the pot as they've been spaced out to fill the pot out. So if I wanted to, I could potentially separate those out if I wanted 2 smaller pots, but they do fill the pot out nicely. I'm sure they'll look great as they continue to trail down, or maybe if I put some support in, they could grow up something and they'll provide really good coverage. This is one that I've had my eye on for a while, and I'm really glad that I've waited and managed to get it at a heavily discounted price. So this was $13.99 down from $29.99, so less than half price. So very glad that I've waited, and very pleased with the healthy plant and size of the plant that has arrived. So the second plant I was expecting is this amazing Monstera Albo. I was in 2 minds of whether or not to buy this, and I'm so pleased that I did. This one was just £60 down from 150. Now I do think 150 is slightly on the higher end for a plant of this size, although good variegation does usually mean a higher price for these plants. And as you can see, this has fantastic variegation even across the leaves, all of the leaves, and on the stem. So I'm hoping that that will carry on into the new leaves as it gets bigger. The reason I was in 2 minds of whether or not to get this is that I already have a couple of these, although the ones that I have don't have as good variegation, and the leaves can be very hit and miss as it grows. And actually I even paid more for those, for smaller plants, 2 to 3 leaves on those with less variegation than I did for this. So the fact that this was £60 was part of the reason that I was so tempted to buy it, and did. Let me know in the comments below if you think £60 was a reasonable price for a Monstera Albo with this level of variegation on the leaves. Hopefully the camera picks that up. So I did say that I'd touch on the value of the plants versus the cost of the mystery plant box. So the mystery plant box is £35, and usually what you'll get within that box is a number of smaller plants, as I've got here, or possibly fewer but larger plants, or maybe fewer but more rarer type varieties. So I've received 4 plants today. These are all relatively small, although this one's a good size. And the lower end value of these plants, as I said, what I've got from the website of what they're sold for normally, the lower end value is £74, with the higher end value at £135. So I did mention as I was going through these, some of them were smaller, but some of them actually seemed like they were larger than the ones that are usually sold at full price on the website. So between £74 to £135 of value in these plants, compared to the £35 that I paid for the box. So that is an amazing saving, as with the box that I've done previously. If you haven't watched that video, I'll link it at the end so you can see the amazing plants that I got in that box too. I will definitely continue to buy these rare mystery plant rescue boxes, as this is a fantastic way to get all of these rare plants into the collection for a much lower price, and then just provide the extra care that they maybe need to bring them back to their full potential and help them grow. Now I don't have the room in my hands to hold all of the plants that I've received today, but I hope you found this video interesting in seeing the plants that I've received in the mystery plant rescue box. Let me know in the comments below if you think it was good value for money for the price that I paid for the box, £35 for the plants that I've received. And as I mentioned earlier, please do also comment if you know what type of Amydrium that might have been, the Amydrium medium, and then something beginning with G. As I said, it looked like Glaucus, glorious, something like that. If you know what it is, please share, and then I'll be able to check more information on that plant and make sure that I can look after it in the right way. If you have found this video interesting, then please do consider hitting the subscribe button, as I'll have new videos every week, usually on a Sunday. As always, thank you for watching Grow Your Wellbeing.